Hello, everyone. So, there's been some interest in how I created the water world, so I figured I would just make a quick little video on the settings that I changed and kind of going over some of what I know about it. I'm not an expert on all the settings, and you can do this on completely vanilla, so you don't need any mods. The mods I have in Water World are just more for theme or challenge, so I do have some examples of other worlds you can create, but let's get over the settings that I changed. So the only ones I really touched is land cover. I like to go 10 to 20. You can go 30, but anything past 20, your islands are just way too big, unless that's what you want to go for, but I wouldn't really go past 30. So we'll go for 10. Land cover scale, it looks like the higher the number, the more land, the lower the number, the less land. So I just been leaving it 25%. Upheaval rates, I'm not too sure about this one. I've just been setting it to 10%. There's some maps where I'll recreate it with a different upheaval rate and it doesn't look like anything's changed, but it could be other things that aren't in that area are changed, so I just leave that 10%. And this one, I think with the higher number, you get more ocean, if I'm reading it right. So I just 300% is what I've been putting at, and it seems like it does fine for me. The world width and length, I set to 2 million for each. Now, on a slower computer, you might not want to touch this because it does take a while to it doesn't take a long time to generate, but it does take a little bit longer to generate with higher length and width. So on a machine that might not be that great, I might not change these. And then everything else is just personal preference. Like for me, I have less trees, but you can have more trees. So let's go ahead and create this and see what it looks like. And some of this loading time is from mods that I have installed, so that does play a part in it. So this one, it looks a little different than what I have because I have like it's a little smaller island and then there's other islands in the distance. So sometimes you'll get ones like this where it's a little Chan island. Sometimes you won't have any landmass where you are and you got to swim quite a bit away. So there is some trial and error. Like you might spawn in a map that literally has no land anywhere around here and you'd have to swim pretty far away for it. So on that, I would just kind of delete that map and start over. But this is kind of what you can expect. Sometimes you'll get ones that are a lot more flatter than this. You already see we got wolves spawning right away. But yeah, that's what I did for the water world. Let's check out this island over here. But yeah, you'll get small islands, big islands, Chan islands. And then there is still the chance of getting landmass that is pretty decent size. But yeah, that's pretty much how I make that. And then let's jump into some other examples. So I haven't been able to create one where most of the water is frozen. I don't know if maybe I'm not doing a setting right. Maybe someone else can figure out how to do like a water world where everything is ice. But you can also do it on like a frozen start. so that way you can have to worry about the water a lot more, because it is freezing water and you don't want your character always being soaking wet while you're trying to fight the cold. So you can also do a cold start if you want. Two more examples I got. So these are the exact same world. I have one at 1 million, one at 2 million. So I'll show you the two differences on those. So this one, you can see the land mass is more closer together. The islands look a little bit bigger. So if you have to leave it on 1 million, this might be what you might encounter more. I mean, you can still play on this. You're gonna have to swim to all the islands or use the boats, but it's still playable if you want to do this. And then this is what that same map looks like on 2 million for the width and length. So the landmass that you start on changed a little bit, and you can notice that the islands are way more spread out, but they're still about the same. Like, these were kind of the same similar island, or on the 1 million this was a bigger landmass, and then on 2 million it's more like a chain island with the same kind of material. And then I probably wouldn't go too far past 2 million, especially if your machine can't handle it. But you can make the world bigger and bigger. Another thing someone asked was tropical islands. So let's go ahead and make one of those with the same settings. And we'll switch. Well, let's make it scorching hot, super humid, and we'll leave everything else the same. And I haven't played around with this too much to be able to isolate to where you only have like jungle and not desert and savanna. But you might have to just have a world that's desert, savanna, and jungle all mixed together. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Sometimes you'll spawn and there won't be any land around you. And I don't know why, but for some reason when I spawn in with no land around, it always spawns this piece of wood. I have no idea why. I think it's probably something with the world gen. But you can kind of take it as like maybe your ship crashed and this all that you have left to float on. But yeah, you can definitely do this with more tropical islands, which I kind of wanted to do something more like this originally, but there's just way too many vines to work with, and I wanted to have more of a challenge. And plus more variety with the landmass, not just the one type of theme. But yeah, you can play around with it, have your own type of islands, and then you'll get something like this where it's bigger landmass. But yeah, I hope this video helped you figure out how you can make your own water world if you wanted to play around with that.